let's discuss the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic film. And it looks like there have been some major changes to the film. So let's get into the news, man. So on comingsoon.net, they say that the Michael Jackson movie Reshoots significantly have changed the ending of the film. And now a sequel is not even guaranteed. So Michael, which is the title of the biopic, the long-awaited movie about Michael Jackson, reportedly experienced major changes during reshoots. So what changes occurred for the Michael Jackson biopic? So Michael's journey from production to the big screen has been tumultuous. Originally scheduled for a 2025 release, Michael was delayed. So actually the film was supposed to come out, I think, in October. It's now been delayed to April next year due to reshoots. And it was all to do with the movie's third act. So the movie's third act reportedly touched on Jackson's sexual abuse allegations in the early 90s. However, there was an agreement between the Jackson estate and the pop star's accuser that was already in place, stating that Jackson's accuser should not be included in the film. And this was, I think, in the court documents years ago, which meant, and again, this is reported, it's not been fully confirmed, but it means that effectively the first, the part 1 and part 2 in the film were probably going to be about, Jackson 5, Thriller album, Bad album, can't remember what albums come after that. And then the final act was going to touch on the abuse allegations that he was later known for, that practically took over his latter part of his career. But that doesn't seem to be happening anymore. So according to Matthew Belloni, Michael's reshoots are complete, and now the movie features a different ending. Additional photography has now wrapped. The film ends after Jackson's triumphant rise to fame in the 80s. Belloni wrote, so all the footage of MJ's later King of Pop and scandal-plagued years, including 2 weeks of shooting at the Neverland Ranch, now owned by Ron Burkle, is unusable. Due to the first cut being nearly 4 hours, guys, we were going to get a 4-hour Michael Jackson biopic movie. Jeez. Lionsgate has considered splitting the Michael movie into two parts. And I did speak about this earlier on in the year. They did mention that there would be a part 1 and part 2 of this Michael Jackson movie. Because of the reshoots and financial gamble, a second movie is not guaranteed. Producer Graham King's plan is to make a second Michael movie that would include all of that stuff, plus a significant amount of additional yet to be shot footage, which stars Jafar Jackson, Coleman Domingo, and Miles Teller. But that will now depend on, yes, you guessed it, how the film is received by audiences next April. They've also added, if it's a hit or if all signs are pointing that direction, they greenlight part 2, and if not, producers eat all that unused footage. Also says here, Jafar Jackson stars as Michael Jackson. Jafar is Michael's nephew and the son of Michael's brother, Jermaine. The rest of the ensemble includes Coleman Domingo, Nia Long, Miles Teller, Laura Harrier, Kat Graham, Lorenz Tate, and Derek Luke. Antoine Fuqua directs Michael from a screenplay by John Logan, and Lionsgate will release Michael in the United States. Okay, so Universal are going to handle the international distribution, and we have confirmation of the first trailer, which is going to be coming attached to the showings of the upcoming Wicked movie, Wicked for Good, in November. And it says here, the Michael biopic film opens in cinemas from the 24th of April 2026. Wow, that is a lot. I'm a massive Michael Jackson fan, and I have been really excited to see this film. And I've had a bit of, mixed feelings about it, with the casting getting me super hyped. But then earlier on, they wanted to condense everything into one movie. Then I was like, well, you can't really put Michael's whole life into a 2-hour film. It's just not going to work. And then it came out saying there's going to be a part 1 and part 2. That got my hype back up. But now I'm kind of back in the middle, because these are major changes. The film now ends in the 80s, the rise to fame era, the bad, the movies that he was in, all of that type of stuff. And it is unfortunately going to cut out Jackson's most controversial years. Now, my question to you guys in the chat and in the comments, should biopics focus only on the legacy, or should they tell the full truth, which unfortunately can include scandals. This is what people had complaints about the recent Bob Marley biopic, a film that I really enjoyed, but one of the pushbacks to the movie is that the movie didn't really tell the full truth about Marley's relationships, and it kind of instead focused more on his legacy. So they kind of shied away from the negative side of Bob Marley. Splitting into two films, it was always going to be a big gamble. But with this news, it looks like this is no longer going to happen, and it is going to be banking on box office performance, which, to be honest, I think this movie is going to have no issues. I think Michael Jackson, I think he's the all-time selling solo artist or something like that. A biopic, the cinemas are going to be packed for months. So I actually think this film is going to make over $1 billion. I think this Michael biopic could easily make over $1 billion. His legacy, his career, his music, he's the GOAT artist of all time in my opinion. Sorry. So I don't think there's going to be an issue financially, but I think it's more so, do they want to do a film and include the scandals that fans know of what happened, and do they want to dig deeper into what happened? Do the estate want to highlight that? Do they want to bring everything back up? I think that is probably more of the question as to, why now they're doing it in two parts. Either way, though, I actually think it should be a trilogy of films, because I don't think you can condense his whole entire career into one or two movies. I think it needs to be way more. So yeah, man. But exciting news to know that we are getting the first trailer very soon. Wicked. I think Wicked comes out end of this month or beginning of November. So, and Jafar Jackson looks really cool. I mean, he looks like for like. They've done a very good job. And with the cast, man, we've got Coleman Domingo, Nia Long, Miles Teller, Laura Harrier, some big boy actors. So I think this is going to be a solid film. But guys, let me know in the chat, are you excited for this upcoming Michael biopic? Are you fans of Michael Jackson? Should they have included the controversy surrounding him, or should they just keep it as they're doing at the moment to his legacy and just having it that way? And are you guys going to watch this movie in cinemas? Let me know. But yeah, that is the big update on the Michael biopic so far. And of course, when more news, probably when the trailer comes out, we'll break it down on the show, man. But yeah, that is it for the Michael biopic updates.